morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stewart, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do something that most of us do on a daily basis, or know someone that does habitually, and that is brew a cup of coffee. However, I won't be making just one cup of coffee, I'll be doing 4. And those 4 are going to be using a French press, a pour over, drip brew using your standard coffee pot, and then a home espresso unit to make a small cup of espresso. So for this, we're going to need a few components. And those components are going to include whole coffee beans or pre-ground coffee, the proper equipment, water in a 16-ounce bottle, or pre-boiled water. You could also just use tap water, depending on where you live and how it affects the flavor of your coffee. And then the proper measuring equipment, which I have here, as well as in the bean grinder. So first we're going to start with the drip brew coffee. We're going to take 2 scoops of our pre-ground coffee. And those scoops are going to be a tablespoon each. Then we're going to take 16 ounces of bottled water and pour it into the water containment unit. Now, on a lot of different coffee makers, there are multiple dials, buttons, and settings. For this demonstration, we won't be using the timer, and we won't be changing the brew strength. We're going to have that set at medium. And all we're going to do is press start. And that's going to start this pot of coffee brewing. So while that pot is brewing, we're going to move on to the home espresso maker. So this is going to be very similar in many manners to what we just did. We are going to take the coffee containment unit. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of pre-ground coffee again. We're going to press, and we're going to lock it into its respective location, if it fits, potentially. Well, or not. This is awkward. There we go. Perfect. Alright, then we're going to place the coffee pot where it belongs. Next, we're going to take the top off. Espresso makers use pneumatic pressure at 130 psi in order to press water through the coffee grinds. Now, according to the National Coffee Association of America, your coffee is to be brewed with water that is approximately 195 to 205 degrees. Anything above or below these temperatures will lead to over or under extraction of your coffee, leaving it with an unpleasant taste. Now, I apologize again, I'm having issues with the espresso maker today. There we go. And it does mean that you have to have it very tightly sealed, otherwise your coffee will not be brewed properly. Next, we are going to just turn it on, and this is going to start pulling that shot of espresso. So next, we're going to move to the French press cup of coffee. Now the French press, we are actually going to grind our beans right here because they are going to require a more coarse grind. Typically, the longer the grinds are in water, the more coarse it needs to be, so you don't over extract that coffee flavor and leave you with an acidic, burnt taste. We are going to turn it to the 2 dial, which is just going to be 2 tablespoons of coffee, and we start. And it's going to be a little loud. I don't suggest doing this in the morning if you have other people living in your home. Maybe grind them the night before, as to not disturb anybody while they're sleeping. So now that's done, you're going to pull the grind compartment out, pop the top off, and if you look in there, it's just more coarse. It's going to be like kind of gravel to rice in consistency. And we're just going to do 2 tablespoons in there. And then we're going to take our pre-boiled water. It may be hot, so if it is, use the proper protection. And we are going to just fill. And I want to let it heat for a second, and then continue. Okay, And remember, be careful with this because it is boiling water, and you don't want to injure yourself or anyone around you. Next, we are going to place the top on. And we're going to let it sit for a moment. And if we were making a standard large pot of French press, we would be pressing this for 30 seconds. However, this is going to be slightly shorter in time due to the lesser amount of water. We are going to just press very slowly. Perfect. There's that. And we are going to just pour that into our first cup of coffee. Okay, there is our French press. Next, we are going to move on to the pour over. The pour over is probably the most basic and simple form of making your coffee at home, and probably the least expensive when it comes to equipment. This little guy right here cost me probably about 20 bucks, and I mean the chances of it breaking are slim to none. I don't have to have electricity or anything of the sort to even operate it. I just need to have water, preferably hot, and a paper filter. So next we are going to take, once again, 2 tablespoons, 1 and 2, and then we are going to take our pre-boiled water. And first, we're not going to completely submerge the beans. We're just going to douse them, let them get wet, let them breathe for a moment, and they'll expand. We'll let that sit for a few seconds as they absorb the water, get all the extra gases out, and now we will begin to pour the water over the beans in a swirling manner. That's to ensure that they are being fully submerged and getting a full extraction. Oh, and there is our drip brew coffee, just finishing up. Perfect timing. So this one does take a little bit more time and effort from the coffee maker, myself. So while the drip brew is extracting, we're going to take this. And just fill. There's the drip brew. And looks like our espresso is just about done. Now, in a lot of home espresso units, they do have the option to have a milk steamer. Today, though, we are not going to be doing that. We're just going to be making a pure cup of espresso. Now, this is a little full. I would suggest using a little less than 16 ounces for your espresso maker. We're just going to fill. And place. And there we go. And if you want to take a look, we have our 4 different cups of coffee, our French press, our pour over, our drip brew, and our espresso. Now these are all 4 very affordable methods that you can make in your home, and in a matter of minutes you can be an expert on making them. So I appreciate your time this morning, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.